Hi, Charles County. I'm Doria Fleischer, your Community Engagement Coordinator. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Let's Get Fiscal, a chance to talk about all things related to budget, money, finance here in Charles County. Joining us, as always, is Jake Dyer from Fiscal and Admin Services. Thanks for being here, Jake.
Thanks for having me.
And special guest today is Sam Drury, our Deputy Director of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Department. Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So we have an exciting thing to talk about today. On July 24th, 2024, county government announced that it had purchased the old Sears building in the St. Charles Towne Center. And this is really exciting because we'd heard from our community that they were looking for a recreation and wellness space, and that's exactly what this area is going to become. We know that there's a lot of questions, though, about how something like this happens. It was kept quiet for a really long time for legal reasons, right? It was in closed session and we couldn't talk about it. And this is not going to be a cheap project, correct?
Correct.
So let's talk about where this money is coming from and how we're funding it. I know it aligns beautifully with the commissioner's goals and objectives. So this is exactly what we, wanted to do for the community. But let's talk about how we're going to pay for this great new thing.
Sure. Well, first, I know you said something about we couldn't really talk much about it, but we couldn't really, it was just because of the actual purchase. We've had a project in place for a couple of years for now for a sports and wellness center in Walter. So we've been planning for the last few years towards getting a building in the community for this type of purpose.
And that we can talk about very publicly.
Yes.
It was just we couldn't talk about the exact property that we were going to purchase and all of the details on that.
And the whole idea of the sports and wellness facility spawns from work that Sam does a couple years ago. And I'll let Sam kind of maybe explain that process on how he comes about with the request and so forth. And then we can talk about the CIP process.
Wonderful. Yeah. All right. So Sam, tell us about where this came from the recreation side, as in why did the Recreation, Parks and Tourism Department start moving towards a project like this?
Yeah, so for many years, we've had lots of requests from the public wanting more amenities, both indoor and outdoor. And through that process, one of the things that we are required to do through the state, a lot of our funding comes from program open space money. And with that, there is a 5-year plan that we develop every 5 years. It's the Land Preservation, Parks and Recreation Plan, otherwise known as the LPPRP.
It's the worst acronym ever. Like,
absolutely.
Who came up with that, right?
I know. So every 5 years we do our LPPRP. Our last one was completed in 2022. And that is a very, again, involved plan that we do. We work with a consultant to put this together, and it has various components of it, one of which is a lot of public engagement and evaluation of our facilities. And we look at what we have and what we need, and through that, we come up with a plan on what our goals are for the next 5 years. And through that, we can then utilize and look at our program open space money to help fund some of these acquisition projects that we do.
So am I saying this correctly, that in order to use program open space money, we have to show that we really evaluated what the community is looking for, what the community currently has, what the community needs? So we only have access to that money if we do the work for it. Is that accurate?
That's very accurate, yes.
And the best part is the program open space funds pays for this plan that we get to put together.
Beautiful. Okay, so far we're it's a win-win, right? We're getting money and we're hearing from the community at the same time.
Correct.
Okay, and we heard from the community.
We heard from the community, and one of the big things is a desire for much more indoor space. And again, we needed more indoor sports space. We needed indoor aquatic space, indoor recreational, multi-generational space. And that's really one of the focuses that we're hoping to accomplish with this facility, is being able to bring a lot of things under one roof. The Sears building, again, has a lot of square footage that we should be able to do that. And again, it's a very exciting project that we can look at here.
Beautiful. Okay, so we start hearing from the community that they want this. We start getting some money together from program open space, and then
so then it becomes part of our capital improvement program process. Recreation, Parks, Tourism, like any other department that manages capital projects, there's a process. They submit requests to us typically in September, October of each fiscal year for what they would like for requests for projects over the next 5 years.
And we have a whole episode all about these projects if you want to take a deeper dive into that.
Yes. Okay. So this project was originally requested, I believe, starting in fiscal year 2020. 22 or 23, after that study was occurred, we initially funded some seed money in this project starting in fiscal year 23 to allow Sam to start working towards this. And then we've started moving up funding each year to help pay for a potential construction or land and so forth. For the fiscal year 25 through 29 CIP, we were able to afford moving this project up sooner than what we originally had in the previous fiscal year. So for fiscal year 25, we put funds in the budget to support this purchase of this for this purpose. And we also have funding in the budget to allow Sam to start working on designing what it would look like. And then starting in our plan for fiscal year 26 and 27, we have construction funds. It's just planning money right now. It's just based on an idea, a concept. Once the department gets further along into the A&E and so forth, they will have much better cost estimates for us. And then when we do the CIP for the next coming year, if they have updated information, we would reflect that into our CIP model and make sure the project's affordable, and then fit the project in a way, because sometimes, planning of projects, timing of projects is always a big deal, and we always try to put that timing in the right year.
That makes sense. And I think if I'm understanding correctly, this is a nice kind of check and balance, right? Like recreation goes to the money people, you guys and the commissioners, and says, we really want to do this. And it's kind of like you can have this much, now show us it's working. Right. Now you can have this much, now show us it's working. So we're not dumping all the money into it all at once. Correct. This is a really planned out kind of strategic process, yeah?
Right. And how we pay for these projects is we have, again, for other episodes we'll explain this, we have a debt affordability model. So we make sure that we're not we say that 8%, no more than 8% of our revenues can go towards debt service. And debt service is what pays for projects, and we finance our projects for the general fund over a 15-year time period. So what we are planning to do with this project is we're going to finance this project with general obligation bonds over the next 15 years. And we will go to the bond market based on the timing that Sam provides us. So we will make sure cash flow wise we have funds to cover it, and then we'll be paying the bonders back over a 15-year period.
That makes good sense. So,
but we do now. We're not just using debt service to pay for this. We have received commitments from the state through our state delegation.
Awesome.
They were able to secure some funds in the last legislative process to help pay for this project. So we received that, and we're going to utilize some of our general fund balance to help pay for this project.
So we've got money coming in from a couple of different places.
Correct.
Excellent.
Yes. And then there's always opportunities for more state funds if need to. Like as Sam mentioned, there's program open space funds. We typically like to use our program open space for actual parks, right? But we could explore looking at that as well into the future if funds are available. The state is always a little tighter on some of their funds, and there's only so much that can go around. So we try to make sure the funding for the county is going in the right spot.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So next steps. When can, we've talked about this is a big investment. It's going to take some time. What happens next?
So for us through this fiscal year, we will really start further planning and design of this. As we purchased the building, we did some rough concepts to really make sure that we could fit an auditorium within the mall space.
So Sam, I love the word, but for our listeners and viewers, what is an auditorium?
Indoor pool.
Excellent.
And an indoor pool within the space, and not just an indoor pool, but a competitive indoor pool. Okay. And that's really one of the focuses that we want to have with this facility, is make sure that we can have competitive spaces, one, not only for our community, but two, for sport tourism. That'll help bring people to our community, help further economic development around the area. Really, it's a win-win all the way around. It gives us much larger spaces to be able to accommodate the community, but when we do have those special events, we can bring others in here.
And what I like about projects like that is that, I try to be out in the community as much as I can. I try to listen to people and hear what they're saying. And we've got some people that are like, I want this space, I want to use it, and this benefits them. And then we have other people that are like, I'm not going to use an indoor pool. I don't need that. I don't live in this area. I'm not going to, but they're still going to benefit because the money coming into the county from outsiders using that space. This is good for Charles County, whether you're the person using it or whether we're just the resident benefiting from this additional income. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why I find this project exciting, because it provides opportunities for individuals who probably would not be in Charles County to come to Charles County, where they could now maybe spend some of their money in Charles County, which has opportunities for businesses to grow in the area. So we get indirect revenues from growth from those opportunities. So it's
So we're putting money out for it.
Yeah.
And there will be income coming back from it, not just from Charles County. Because I think we hear sometimes like, why am I paying for this? But this is our tourists coming in and helping to pay for
absolutely.
it.
Correct.
Beautiful.
Yeah, travel sports is really big in the United States right now. And again, anybody that travels to competitions, as soon as the competition's done, they need a place to stay, they need a place to eat, they have a place to shop, they need gas.
Yep.
So all of that brings additional economic impact to the community. So again, it really is a win-win all the way around.
Okay, so through this fiscal year, it's more of the planning, figuring out.
Exactly. Yeah, we will be starting some further public engagement, both of the public, other stakeholders, other businesses, and getting some feedback on, again, really refining the design of the building. And then from there, we'll be going back to further planning and engineering to go into next fiscal year to start ramping up for the construction phase.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because the idea is we start construction in fiscal year 26, but based on the work that Sam has to do and the timing and so forth, there's always opportunities for the timing to be amended as well as updated cost figures. So
Beautiful.
there's opportunity for Sam and any department when it comes to a project to make those changes leading up to the budgets presented to the commissioners. So the 26 through 30 CIP will be presented to the commissioners as part of the budget
Seems
process.
great. Like,
in the spring.
What year is it right now? Like, how are we not? I feel like since 2020, it just kind of flew. So here's to 2030, right? Excellent. Well, I am so glad that you were able to explain, where this money was coming from, why the decision was made to use it, because this is a big investment for our county. And I'm so excited that it's an investment that's both going to benefit our residents who want to actually use the facility and benefit all of our community from this income coming in. So I'm looking forward to more engagement efforts. And Sam, we already have our Engage page set up with this project. So if you want to learn more, you can always go online, sign up for the mailing list, make sure that you stay in tune with the project so we can keep you updated. But I appreciate you both being here today. Jake, thanks for being here from Fiscal and Admin Services, and Sam from Recreation Parks and Tourism.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to talking more about this project and other filmings.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in, Charles County. Remember, if you heard terms or want to learn more about some of the stuff that was talked about today, please go back through our other Let's Get Fiscal episodes to hear about all things related to money, budgeting, and finance here in Charles County. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and stay engaged. For more information on Charles County government, visit our website, www.charlescountymd.gov. You can follow us on Facebook and subscribe to the county's e-news. Also, don't forget to sign up for our text and email alerts through the Citizen Notification System. You can watch CCG TV on Comcast Channel 95 or Verizon Fios 10, and we're streaming on Apple TV and Roku devices. Just search Charles County Government. You can also subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts by searching Charles County Government. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.